everyone, I'm Madeline, also known as KnittingHouseSquare on Instagram and KnittingHouseSQ on Ravelry. And today I'm coming back with another kind of like yarn pattern review. This is similar to what I did for the Brooklyn Tweed Veil, where I got veil, tried it out, and let everyone know what I thought. That was a great yarn. I'll post that video down below, but I thought it might be fun to try some other yarns that I've never tried before. So I'm thinking more, this will be the first one that I do, and I have a couple more ideas for different yarn brands I want to try. So I'm thinking more yarn brands that aren't available in yarn stores, so ones you order online, and of course just ones I've never tried before because it's an excuse for me to get more yarn and knit things. So I'm very excited. So I've already picked up the first one for this little mini series that I'm gonna do. And it arrived in the mail today. She always posts, so it's Susan B. Anderson's brand, Barrett Wool Company, and she always posts the cutest kits on Instagram. So I'm just so excited to try this out. I wish they still, you'll see the kit I got in a second, but I really liked the 3 French hens kit, but I missed out on that one because I thought of this too late, this idea. But I'm very excited to try this as well. Sounds like there might be some stitch markers in here, which would be great. So I'll open this up real quick and be right back. Sorry for any crinkling noises if there are. There are some, it's kind of unavoidable. Okay, so this is what it looks like right out of the package. That's really cute packaging. A+. I think I've seen pictures of this packaging before on Instagram though, so I had high hopes. Oops, sorry, I touched my camera a little bit. So it comes in here. And then inside of there, there's another package. And this has a little thank you card for your purchase, and then this is also another shawl that is a Barrett Wool Co. pattern. That's the other thing I wanted to mention too. So for each of the yarns, I'm gonna pick a pattern that is designed by the yarn company or part of the yarn company's portfolio, just so that I make sure that I'm really knitting the right things with the yarn, of course, right? When you try out a yarn, sometimes you can either just kind of have like a pattern that doesn't work so well with it. So this way I figured I'd avoid that problem altogether. So when I buy it this way, it works out. Okay, so first off, here is the little bag it came with. Very cute project bag. This is a good size for socks or a hat like the kit I picked out. So very cute, has the logo stamped on there. The other thing that came in this is the pom-pom. So I ordered the pink and pink kit just because I thought that would be really cute. So this is a very nice pom-pom, and then there are the strings to tie it onto the hat when you're finished. And then, don't want to show my download code. My logo popped off, but this is the yarn color that I picked out. So this is the Wisconsin Woolen Spun small batch yarn. There's a number ID on the side, which I think just has something to do with the batch. And this is the color Blushing. You get 250 yards for every 100 grams. It's a worsted weight yarn, and then it's hand wash yarn, lay flat to dry. So here's the whole tag. Yes. It does feel really nice. I'm trying to think of what it's most similar to. It feels kind of similar to a couple of the ovals to me. As I'm knitting with it though, I'll try to think of other similar yarns to compare it to, because especially when you're ordering yarn online, it's hard to know what it's gonna feel like. But it's a nice soft, it's like medium softness. Actually I'd say it's pretty soft for like 100% wool yarn. It doesn't feel scratchy. Like I feel like you could wear this against the neck or something like that. yeah, it just says 100% American wool. So yes, here's the full skein. I'm gonna wind it up, and then maybe I'll come back again and update you once I've started just the beginning of the hat. I just realized I forgot to talk about the stitch markers too. I talked about how they were in there, but I forgot to mention them. These are the little stitch markers that came in there. I actually didn't know there were stitch markers as part of my kit, so that is a fun surprise. And then when you open it up, it's quite a few colors, and they're the little hook pins, which I actually really like using these pins because they're nice to be able to take in and out. So yes, a whole rainbow assortment in there. Okay, that was the last thing I had to mention there. Also, if this kit's still available, I'll link it down below so people can check it out if they want to. Hello everyone, I'm back again, and I thought I would just give everyone an update of how the hat is going. So this is how far I am right now. I'm about one repeat or so into the chart, and it's going really well. So I just did a regular, it's kind of like I do like a modified long tail cast on. And then the ribbing, on the ribbing I used a size 6 needle. And then up on the main fabric I switched to the size 7. So I'm following the pattern exactly as written, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And the yarn's been great. This is how much I have left. It was actually kind of funny because I tried to wind it myself at home, and it was too big to fit on my winder. So at a certain point I had to do it by hand. But that part has gone away. I've already knit through the part that didn't look nice on this, so that's good. So yeah, so I'm just gonna finish off this hat, and I'll probably be back in a little bit with that. Hello everyone, back again. So I finished the hat and I love it so much. So here it is. I've already blocked it and everything. And then of course the pom-pom. So first let me start off with if I changed anything about this pattern. So I actually knit this pattern exactly as was written. Cast on the same number, knit for the exact amount of ribbing that she said, and then didn't do any modifications up the hat. And can't remember if I said this already, but I used the same needle size that was recommended in the pattern, which is kind of rare for me because usually I go down a needle size, but I figured this yarn has a lot of body, so I thought me on a 7, it would be okay, on a US 7. So the way I did it when I was finishing the hat is that I actually, so you can sew over the brim or you can just fold it over. So I actually decided to sew it. And so I sewed over the brim first, then I washed the hat and laid it flat to dry on one of my blocking mats. And then once it was all the way dry, it's really humid here in Philadelphia right now, so it actually took a couple days to dry. Like I'd say like 3 days to dry, which is pretty crazy. Usually it does not take my stuff that long to dry. And then finally I just attached the pom-pom, and I think that really makes the whole hat. I'm in love with the pom-pom. So yes, finished product. I'll put it on right now, but I'll be sure to insert some videos too to really show it off. But you can see cable pattern. I kind of like it almost off to the side a little bit more. I think that's the way she showed it yeah, I think it looks cute kind of off to the side a little bit. And it fits really, really well. Like I'd say this hat has great fit, especially if it's windy or something outside. I always have that problem, especially like in Philadelphia when you walk across the river on the bridges. Sometimes I feel like my hat's about to blow off. So I feel like this one's actually really secure. So that makes me want to make another one of these for myself, because I think I'll be giving this one as a gift. But yes, I'm very happy with how this hat turned out. And then as for the yarn, I actually have quite a bit left over. So here's the little label, and it actually wraps perfectly around. So I'd say there's about 1/3 of the skein left on here. So if you wanted to make another little accessory to go with it, or maybe just like an ear warmer headband, I think you'd have plenty in here to do that. So I just wanted to mention one other tip with this yarn that I found really useful. So when I was folding over the brim of the hat, and I've experienced this before, sewing over brims, that I always want to line up the cable on the back side with where it started on the front side, right? So then you don't end up with extra fabric anywhere. It's kind of just like sewing, like you want to pin things in place before you start. So what I ended up doing to do that was I used some of the stitch markers that came in the kit, because I don't really have too many stitch markers that are like these little pins. And you can actually kind of use them as little knitting pins. So what I did was I lined up, just like open it up as a regular pin, and then I lined up the two sides, and then I would just pin it in place. Use this directly as a pin. And then before I sewed it, so I did this about 5 times around the hat, just to make sure everything was exactly where I wanted it. And then when I was sewing the brim over, that kept everything aligned, and I could check myself as I was going around to make sure everything was still lining up. So of course it could still get off just like a slight bit in between the pins, but I think that's a great way to just make sure it's mostly in order. Gotta make sure I take that out again now before I forget. Yes, I'd say that was very helpful. And then this isn't so much a modification that I made, but I actually just ended up doing magic loop for the crown decreases too, instead of switching to a smaller size needle, because I prefer that method a little bit. But I wouldn't really consider that a modification. Overall though, I would say I love this yarn a lot. I think this hat turned out so cute. I actually unfortunately think this kit is sold out online right now. I want to say that, but as soon as I post this, it probably won't be sold out again. But I'll definitely still link the kit down below if anyone's interested in it, because this makes a great gift knit, because it doesn't take very long to knit. This probably took me like 2 night times, just like watching TV or something. And it's also a great knit if you're a new cable knitter, because there's nice large cables in here. So if you've never read a cable chart before, this is definitely a great one to start out on. And it's in the round, so that always simplifies things. And so yeah, I think that's all. So stay tuned for the next installment of this series. I'll give you a little sneak peek right now. It's going to be the yarn Stone Wool, which is very new to me, and I'm very excited to try it. So I will see you next time. Bye!